What? Vlad blinked again, trying to make some kind of sense out of the words his teacher had spoken, but he couldn't. What Mr. Otis had said was crazy. Nellie glanced nervously between Vlad and Mr. Otis. My uncle? Vlad said. But you killed my parents and Mr. Craig. I most certainly did not. Then for Glob's sake, why did you scare us like that? Said Aunt Nellie. It was something she'd always said as long as Vlad had known her, for Glob's sake. Vlad rolled his eyes, then looked to Mr. Otis for his reply. Mr. Otis looked at Nellie and then at Vlad, stretching out his palms in front of him as if he were pleading forgiveness. I'm sorry. It wasn't my intent to frighten you. I needed you to sit and listen. Every time I tried to talk to you, you'd run away. I need you to tell me what you know about Thomas and Melina, and exactly what happened to both of them. He glanced out the window again, and then took a seat on the sofa, his elbows on his knees, his fingers raking back the hair from his face. I was shocked to hear of their deaths. In fact, after Mr. Craig disappeared, I volunteered to take his teaching spot to find you, Vlad. I thought if I found you, I could find Thomas. I'd never planned to harm you or your parents. I only hoped to protect you from the vengeful justice of Elysia. Tears coated his cheeks, and the sight of them made Vlad feel insignificant and small. The man he'd thought a monster was braver than he was, brave enough to cry. Nellie stood and crossed the room, placing a caring hand on Mr. Otis's shoulder. We don't know what happened. It was an accident, their death. A dark mystery to us all. Vlad swallowed a lump in his throat and pushed the image of his parents to the back of his mind. Where is Elysia? A sigh escaped Otis. All around you. Elysia isn't a place one can visit, Vlad. It's what we call vampire society, coexisting with our own world. That is Elysia. The council gathers in Stokerton. He tapped the book's cover and handed it back to Vlad. Everything you need to know is in here. I can teach you the code if you'd like, but later when things are safer for you. His eyes shifted to the door, as if something terrible were going to burst through it at any second. Vlad gripped the book in both hands. A million questions cluttered his mind. But your hat, and that symbol. I need you to trust me, Vladimir. I loved your father. We were more than brothers, we were best friends. It pained me when he left, when he chose your mother over Elysia, but it was his choice to make, and I respected that. He pulled up his sleeve and held his wrist up for them to see. Vlad cringed a bit at the symbol. A guilty cringe, one from a boy who'd actually accused his uncle of being a murderer. When Otis turned his wrist, the symbol glowed slightly, like the glyph he and Henry had discovered in his father's study, like the one on the book he was holding. This is my symbol, my name in Elysian code. When a vampire vows to protect someone, we leave our symbol on something that belongs to them. It's called marking, and it serves as a warning to others that should they harm this person, they should expect harm returned to them by the one who did the marking. Vampires are honor-bound. If we bother to mark someone, it is taken quite seriously. Your father marked Mr. Craig as a vow to protect him by carving his name on his porch, just as surely as I marked you by carving mine on the box in your dresser. Unfortunately, someone ignored your father's mark. Who did kill Mr. Craig? Nellie blurted. Diablo, though I'm not sure why. He could have fed on any number of Bathory citizens. Did, in fact, on a young woman. But why he chose a man who'd been marked by your father is beyond me. Perhaps he'd hoped to anger Thomas, bring him out of hiding, which is where all of Elysia believes him to be. Otis went to the window and pulled the drapes open an inch. It was already dark outside, and there was strange electricity in the air, as if a storm was fast approaching. Who is Diablo, anyway? Vlad asked.
This is the end of disc number 3. Please insert disc number 4.